Hi there, I'm Ross. This is a hairband and nothing more than a hairband. Taz needs to be renamed Taz E. Dangerously. Sonny Kiss was absolutely fantastic, and it's a crime it's taken this long for Sonny Kiss to have a proper match on AEW Dynamite. FTR versus SCU was absolutely liquid. Tag team wrestling, fantastic stuff. AEW's YouTube people are really silly, and there's much more to discuss as we take a look at all of the WTF moments from last night's AEW Dynamite. And it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, I am pushing all of the positive vibes I can possibly muster towards Renee Young and Jon Moxley at this time. Howay! As we like to say up here in Newcastle upon Tyne. Hit the intro, pal! WTF! And I cannot have been the only person to see that person there on last night's AEW Dynamite and say to myself, bloody hell, Jungle Boy's grown a bit, hasn't he? Like a sunflower. Now I've got to admit, man was confused when man saw that there. If you're getting hit on your shins and or your knees, why are you falling down like you've slipped on a banana peel in the midst of a 1970s comic book strip? Surely you should be going flat down on your face so hard that you're saying, ow my schnoz, like Marv out of Home Alone. So of course man, who of course is a no good hack on the interweb who knows nothing about the mechanicals of professional wrestling, is putting this hack theory forward. Wardlow in that instance there was expecting a different leg to hit him on a different part of his leg and took the bump he should have took if that actually happened, but it didn't, so he looked a bit silly in my opinion. But then again, I know nothing. Now, as we all know, not all WTF moments on this crappy video series have to be negative, and this one is certainly not negative. That's Luchasarus there. He appeared on Cultaholic Straight to Hell once upon a time. Go and watch that, please. Ha 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 ha! But that's Luchasarus there doing a shooting star press off the stage. Now, we all know Luchasaurus is really agile, and we all know that Luchasaurus can probably roundhouse kick the dirty magazines that probably reside on the top shelf in your local newsagents. But hey, that is still a massive old dinosaur doing a shooting star press off the bloody stage, man. That's a WTF moment. But I did enjoy a moment a few seconds before that. I enjoyed it so much that I feel compelled to include it in this video of WTF moments from this week's Dynamite. We saw a falling Wardlow from the same stage that Luchasaurus dived off of. He fell down, that caused an entire roster of professional wrestlers to be wiped out like the dinosaurs. They all fell down apart from one wrestler who in that moment proved he is much harder and much more resilient and much more unknockadownable than the rest of his compadres on the AEW roster. And who is that man who can resist a fallen Wardlow? It's none other than bloody Luther. I just don't know why, but seeing Luther standing tall like the hero we all need in the midst of all these bodies flailing around like dying ladybugs on the floor, it made me laugh. And then we hear Jim Ross shout, referee Rick Knox is preoccupied. He didn't see the foul. And you know where I'm going here, don't you? But I bet the referee's in the back watching the monitor. So at Jim Ross, I'm asking the question again, why, when some matches are happening inside an AEW ring, do we have a referee that comes out and corrects a mistake made by the referee inside the ring? But matches like that one last night, there's nobody to come out and correct somebody. Why is it happening for some matches but not for all the matches? It does my tatty bojangles in so much. I think this referee thing from the back coming out to correct the referee inside the ring might have just broken into my top 5 pet peeves in professional wrestling. Another Straight to Hell reference there. I miss doing Straight to Hells. Now, seeing that graphic there made me think of one thing I saw on the Twitter machine when I woke up this morning, and I've got to mention it. This show is called WTF Moments, isn't it? Yes, it is. It is. Of all the mistakes that could be made by somebody working for AEW while uploading a clip to their YouTube channel, why on earth make that mistake there? That is unbelievable. That mistake there, quite ironically, isn't it weird how the world works out, is so TNA. It's TNA, isn't it? And then we saw a really shocking sight at an AEW show. No, it wasn't tag teams abiding by the rules. It was the fact we saw former NXT man Caesar Bononi in the crowd there. You can take your Scott Hall WCW debut, you can take your Radicals WWE debut, and you can push them to one side because that there is on a different level. Falcon Arrow, she done did the deal. 1, 2, 3.
The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time's run away, the end is nigh.
Yes, I do believe that just for the second time in professional wrestling history. Do not quote me on that. I'm just doing it for the bants. A professional wrestler ended a professional wrestling match by hitting the Falcon Arrow. And I do believe that Hikaru Shida is the person who's done it on both occasions. Wow, what a great stat. And then we saw Cody Rhodes rocking up for that press conference looking like he just landed a brand new job at Butland's. And when I first saw that fella there standing next to Ali, I thought to myself, bloody hell, QT Marshall's new hair has done bloody wonders for him, hasn't it? But then the next second later, I realised it's not him. But it would appear that Britt Baker's brand new security guard with his thing round his face, that sounded weird, his bandana round his face, is also a part of the Nightmare family. But as we all know, going off what we've seen on AEW over the past few months, Britt Baker is a massive arsehole. She is undoubtedly a heel in the professional wrestling, whereas on the other hand, the Nightmare family are as pure as the driven snow, something we should all aspire to be. So how can this man be working for both of those things when they're on different sides of the tracks? With the way that pro wrestling works in mind, how can this work? It surely can't. And then we have a direct quote from Cody Rhodes when he says, I don't like meta wrestling, I don't like player wrestling, I don't like cosplay wrestling, I like professional wrestling. Ooh. And I don't know if it was just me, but my immediate reaction upon hearing that revelation, that shocking revelation from AEW EVP Cody, was to think, bloody hell, what the hell was Cody's reaction to the Stadium Stampede match and much more stuff we've seen on AEW since it was born last year. In that moment there, did we learn that one of the EVPs was definitely not on board with some of the stuff they've put out? Ooh, the drama. Oh, I'm sad. Ruth. Cody's title's called Ruth. Now you see, that's the problem with these modern day petrol stations with their great big whopping supermarkets that have to be inside of them as well. You get knobheads like Joey Janela on last night's Dynamite waltzing in there, plucking up a trolley for goodness sake, a massive great big whopping trolley, and feeling the need to fill that trolley with stuff he could be buying at a proper 24-hour supermarket. I presume those things exist in Florida at the moment. I don't know, they don't exist here in Newcastle, but the point still stands. Cans of Monster, a coffee machine, a few sweeties and a bag of crisps, maybe a sandwich. That much I can handle, but that there from Joey Janela, in my opinion, with the thought of the massive queue that was presumably forming behind his and Sonny Kiss's car. Oh, that was a heel turn last night. Down your drinks, you can't be doing that, man. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the video, Sonny Kiss is absolutely fantastic, but based off how fantastic Sonny Kiss is, can you believe last night was Sonny Kiss's first proper AEW match on Dynamite? Sonny has been in a couple of battle royals to this date, yes, but can you believe it's taken this long for Sonny Kiss to have a proper, you know, bells and whistles wrestling match on Dynamite? It's scandalous, so it is. And while we're here, I feel the need to point some of you in the direction of that tweet there from Sonny's Twitter account. Jim Ross is doing fine. And I told you last week or maybe a couple of weeks ago, who knows with the way this lockdown era is going, it could have been last year. I told you that FTR were just asking for trouble by leaving their car doors open. Never mind unlocked, they were leaving them wide open. But they left their car car doors open and the Butcher and the Blade swept in there like only good heels would. But the challenge from the Blade for Fyter Fest, that has got to be a WTF moment. Yes, I'm aware that Butcher and the Blade and Lucha Bros, both a set of heel tag teams. But where does that alliance come from? And where does that match? What? Where did that come from? And I am all in for Reba. That's what Britt Baker calls her. I'm all in for her trying to blow Big Swole off the top of the Rolls Royce with a leaf blower. Fantastic. And of course, we've got to give props to Mark Quinn for comfortably styling out what was obviously a massive arse over tit moment. Well done. Temperatures are soaring here in Newcastle upon Tyne. I am sweating like Shane McMahon, but who cares? We get to that point there of the Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy brawl, and we hear Jim Ross say Jericho and Orange Cassidy may not be observing social distancing before it's all said and done here. The moment they touched, they weren't doing that, Jim. You're not even doing it at your commentary booth. How close you are to both Big Dick Tony Schiavone and Excalibur. Nobody inside Daly's place is social distancing, in front of the camera at least. And I know I said I would never mention pandemic related issues in these WTF Moments videos again, but here we are in a world where I can finally say, the YouTube gods can finally let us say COVID-19. Coronavirus, COVID-19, coronavirus. Watch this video, now get demonetized. What's the problem with saying those words, YouTube, you bastards? And I'm well aware that during last night's Dynamite, Cody was taking part in that really important and really necessary and really big time feeling press conference with Jake Hager, but already the supposedly noble and brave babyface Cody has broken his own rule for defending the TNT, not the TNA, the TNT Championship title belt. I'm going to defend my title belt each and every week. I'm going to embark on a schedule no professional wrestler has ever done before, unless I count you John Cena, but nobody mentioned John Cena. But there he was, instead of defending his title like he said he was going to do, we had to sit there and listen to Cody speak bollocks. It was a good promo. It wasn't bollocks. We had to sit there and listen to Cody speak bollocks while looking at a big picture of Cody's massive head. The slow heel turn continues. How tantalizing. And that's it for all the WTF moments from me and my head banned. I looked at the comments on the Raw WTF Moments video earlier this week, and some of you were saying I've cut the front of my hair without cutting the back. I've just wear it's a headband. What's hard to understand? Anyway, Fyter Fest over the next 2 weeks. Looking forward to it. Just as long as we cut to commercial breaks in the right spots, AEW, please. Let's not have a commercial break when, you know, somebody's at the count of 9 or something like that. Let's have a match, then a commercial, then a match, then a commercial. Stuff like that. Stuff that won't ruin what should be 2 great weeks of professional wrestling action. I've been Ross Twaddell and my headband, and I'll see you soon.